Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Taking the vote chori allegations up a notch, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi has now appealed to the youth of the country, the Gen Z, to save the constitution, protect democracy and stop vote theft. The move has sparked a fierce backlash, especially with violent, anarchic scenes playing out right in India's neighborhood, still afresh in everyone's minds. The BJP quickly seized upon Gandhi's appeal and questioned his intentions for India's stability. The BJP asks, is Rahul Gandhi seeking to create a Nepal-like situation here? Is Congress, through its rhetoric, inching India towards political anarchy? Rahul's vote chori charge is a separate debate altogether. If there is merit to those charges and how the Election Commission should take up those allegations. But how legitimate is it to galvanize support over yet to be proven charges by tapping into this Gen Z base at a time when India's neighborhood continues to be on the boil? India has always prided itself on the rule of law and democratic transfer of power, but these pillars are only as strong as the respect all political actors show towards them. When political leaders seek to mobilize the youth base for a revolution, quote-unquote, by any other means than the ballot, it inevitably will be questioned. Given that 70% of India's population is under 30, is this then a real threat for India, appeals like this? Or are politicians being foolhardy, delusional, by thinking India in 2025 can succumb to such tactics? Also, is being out of power making some take the scorched earth approach even more blatantly than before? We'll take that up with our guest joining us in just to be the Gen Z fight, who's trying to tap in to what people assume is an anger amongst this new generation. That debate is the first one on Plain Speak. On the other side, Congress party in the dock for more reasons today. One is the Yasin Malik affidavit. Another is Pakistan pro comments by one of their current leaders. Later on the show, though, we'll also get you how para championships in India are being prepared for. Stay with us. First up, here's what Rahul Gandhi has said in his post. I quote, the youths of the country, the students of the country, the Gen Z of the country will save the constitution, protect democracy and stop vote theft. I always stand with them. So he's talking about youths, but very specifically students and Gen Z. Which is, of course, the generation after millennials, so those born in late 1990s to early 2000s, so very young people. And India is full of them. What does this appeal mean is the big question. Rahul Gandhi might not have openly called for a Nepal-like uprising. There have been instances in the past, though, where those on the opposition ranks have been seemingly salivating because something like this has happened in Bangladesh earlier or Nepal now, even if you leave countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Myanmar out of the equation. So earlier this month alone, Shiv Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut shared a video of the arson and street unrest from Kathmandu, tagged PM Modi and the BJP and wrote, Nepal today, this situation can arise in any country, beware. Last year, Congress leader Salman Khurshid had cautioned that a violent anti-government protest similar to those in Bangladesh could potentially occur in India despite the appearance of normalcy on the surface. But what unfolded in Nepal? Can it possibly happen in India or no? There are some things to ponder upon. India's diverse population makes it very difficult for a particular issue, one issue to resonate so big that it nationally takes over, as was for a very small country like Nepal. Even Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan are much smaller in comparison to India. Furthermore, grievances are often directed towards state authorities. We have very capable state governments and they are responsible for very many things that affect a common person's life on a day-to-day basis. You have roads, you have education, hospital, even examinations, etc. that pertain particularly to the youth of the country. All of these are actually state government mandates. India's multi-layered security, administrative experience and machinery will not allow any protest to escalate to such a huge level that it can be a national level problem. It's also very unlikely for youth issues to unite all demographics. Yes, India is a very, very young country, but that doesn't mean that youth issue alone will mean that everybody will be on the streets. Importantly, in India, dissent is expressed through voting every 5 years, plus, of course, state issues. So this reduces the need to hit to the streets because you can express your opinion through the ballot. And political alternatives that exist in such a vibrant political atmosphere in India discourage any revolutionary action. It no longer holds that currency that maybe it one day did, or our times changing. Let's take that debate to our guest joining us. This fight over the Gen Z remark, who really wants anarchy in India? Because the bigger question is that none of these protests have seemingly done anything good for their country. It may be a high for a limited period of time, but did they turn out to be better for their country or not? And why should India ever want to emulate it? That's coming up.
Whatever the narratives Pakistan creates, same narrative is propounded by Rahul Gandhi and his company here in India.
Gen Z of India is the one that kicked him out, kicked his dynasty out, booted the Congress out in 2014.
नया जनरेशन होता है, जो यंग जनरेशन होता है, वो हमेशा देश में अगर कोई परिवर्तन आता है, कोई क्रांति आती है, कोई बदलाव आता है, तो उसमें उसकी हिस्सेदारी होती है.
Let's go across to our guest joining us, Rohan Gupta from the BJP, Garima Dasoni from the Congress Party with us, Harsh Dahiya is a political analyst, and Tausif Ahmed Khan will be with us in just a bit as well. Garima, I begin with you. Given how these protests have panned out in several of these countries, is it correct for opposition leaders to suggest, if not directly, but via innuendos, that something like this is needed in India? Did these protests actually manage to do anything good? Then just uproot the current government? Were they able to unleash anything that meant prosperity for the coming generations, or was this a temporary high? And therefore, if political leaders want such revolutions, quote unquote, is it just to get their own ends met, which is a change of power, not necessarily betterment of India?
See, Shivani, I see Mr. Rahul Gandhi's tweet as misinterpreted by you or by BJP spokesperson. Nowhere has my leader said that such revolutions should occur in our country. If he tweets with relation to the vote chori abhiyan that he's been speaking about. And this is not just about Congress. This is about democracy itself being robbed. If voters' names are stolen from the list, it means their voices, their right, and our constitution is being stolen. So this is all related to vote chori abhiyan, nothing else. We are not...
So his use of the term Gen Z, particularly in the aftermath of the Nepal protests, which were termed officially as Gen Z protests, has caught the eye. Could he have worded it better if that's not what he meant? After all, in politics, and politicians must be very careful of the words they use.
No, he has particularly and very thoughtfully used Gen Z, because Gen Z is the one who's not seen the Congress regime so closely. And whether it's Pandit Nehru's or Indiraji's or Rajiv Ji's regime or Sardar Manmohan Singh's regime, he's just terming as that you need to be more alert, you need to be more aware of what is going on in your own country. You are being robbed with your own constitutional right when it comes to polling the vote. So BJP
I like that. Thank you so much for pointing this out. Gen Z is the generation, Rohan Gupta, that doesn't remember UPA 1 and 2. And that is the generation that Congress wants to, tap into, because they may not remember what UPA 1 and 2 were particularly known for. This could be a trouble for you.
They were barely
absolutely. Gen Z neither
remembers,
and the Gen Z doesn't want to remember also. And Gen Z don't want Congress now. I'll tell you why. This is not the coincidence, but the proof of the fact that Gen Z loves BJP, Modi ji, and the ideology. Today you see the DUSU results. This is the height of coincidence today, but that's a fact. That is the verdict of Gen Z. Shivani, the way, the mindset, whether it is Gen Z or Gen Y or millennials, anybody, what you see is the political ideology of the party, right? Today, two incidents have happened. You see the affidavit of Yasin Malik and statement of Sam Pitroda. Anybody, I'm saying Gen Z or anybody 70 years old, any citizens of India, if they see this statement, what kind of message they will get for Congress party? You are talking about love for Pakistan. You are saying that you should not fight with Pakistan. You are saying Yasin Malik says that he was told thanks by Manmohan Singh. What kind of mindset is this? You cannot accept them. That's why they have badly rejected Congress party's ideology.
No,
This
but
was
Rohan
not the
Gupta,
Congress
you don't see. Yes, DUSU election results aside, yes, ABVP has been winning some student elections even in states where they haven't won previously. Fair enough. But don't you think this is a possible Achilles heel of the BJP, where the young generation who will be voting in larger and larger numbers in coming years, they are not haunted by what happened under UPA 1 or UPA 2. They don't remember anything else but Narendra Modi's era. So this is par for the course for them. You can only scare those. No, one second. Let me finish. You can only scare those
May I
who
come
have
in, please?
lived under Congress rule by
Shivani, may
suggesting
I
that.
come in, please?
Sir, ma'am, I'm coming back to you. You can only scare those who have lived under Congress rule by suggesting, oh, if Congress comes back to power, then this will happen and this will happen and this will happen. Those who haven't lived under Congress rule have no fear.
Shivani, you are absolutely right. And that's why I'm saying that Gen Z in India, there is generally anti-incumbency. This is the first time in India which is a pro-incumbency because they know what are the opportunities available to them. They know because of social media what is happening in other countries. They knew what happened in Nepal. They knew what happened in Bangladesh. They know what is happening in Pakistan because they know what kind of opportunities are available in India. Gen Zs are smart enough to analyze that what is available for them, what is not good for them. And that's what I'm saying. This is the first time there is no narrative as far as Congress party is concerned. And every day this kind of statements when they come out, do you feel that Gen Z that they will like Congress party's ideology?
I
And
don't
they
know.
Don't have answers.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
You
I
can't
think
predict, Rohan. That is the thing. There is an element of unpredictability here.
No. Shivani, you tell me one thing. Anybody, forget about politics, me, you or anybody. Anybody who sees Sam Pitroda's statement saying that we should not fight with Pakistan, do you feel you will tolerate that? Our people have lost their lives
May
in
I?
Pahalgam.
You
Our
giving
Jawans
a
are losing lives. And after
lot of
that, you are
time to
having
Rohan,
this kind of
please.
Ma'am, I'm
mindset
coming to
that
you.
this
We
is
have
just- I
time.
never
We have
spoke in
time.
between.
I'm just trying to
one
understand
minute.
how the BJP
This
looks
kind
at it.
Shivani, this kind of mindset of tolerating Pakistan for so many years,
Okay.
whether it was 9/11 or thousands of incidents of
26/11 you mean,
Pakistan
yes.
had the mindset that
No,
we will do
Pakistan.
anything
Once
and
again,
Congress
I'll come
party
to
will
the issue
support.
of Pakistan and foreign policy with Pakistan a little bit later, Rohan. Let's stick to the issue of Gen Z. Yes, Garima ji, you wanted to come in.
Yeah, I think the BJP spokesperson and for that matter, the whole BJP has lost faith and confidence in their own government that they will be, if something like that comes up, like Nepal and Bangladesh, their government is going to curb or control. I mean, why are they doubting their own government and the strength? I mean, this is ridiculous and this is quite weird that we are comparing ourselves to Pakistan. And when Rohan Gupta says that he wants peace with Pakistan, whom were we playing the cricket match with, Mr.
Okay.
Rohan Gupta?
No,
Why
once
are we
again,
playing the cricket
we'll come
match
to
with
that debate in
Pakistan
just a
if
bit.
we are-
Ma'am, we'll
we
come
are
to that
in-
debate in
we
just a
are
bit.
in ongoing fight.
No.
If we are having
Once
an
again, I'll come to
ongoing
that
war
debate
with
in just a bit.
Pakistan,
Later
who are
on
we
the show,
playing
please.
with
Later
in
on the show.
Dubai?
I want to just focus on this issue. Harsh Daya, do you believe that there is a deliberate intention to invoke, quote unquote, the unpredictable anger of the Gen Z by opposition leaders, or are we making too much out of this?
शिवानी जी, आई वुड लाइक टू स्टार्ट बाय सेइंग दैट कि नाम है मोहब्बत की दुकान और ये परोसते हैं नफरत के पकवान. And you know, Rahul Gandhi said that he stands with the youth, but he stands alone because the youth is definitely not standing with him. We have seen in DUSU elections, we have seen in Punjab University elections, that Gen Z has completely rejected Congress and its ideology-backed NSUI, wherein in DUSU, ABVP won 3 out of 4 seats just today itself. And you know what funny thing is that, like, you know, Rahul Gandhi says, he signifies by his tweet that there should be some kind of protest or anarchy in the country. But you know what Gen Z and the millennials hate the most? They hate dynastic politics, they hate corruption. And who are the biggest symbols of dynastic politics and corruption in the country? That is the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi. If ever Gen Z gets on the road, if ever millennials get on the road, if ever youth gets on the road, that will be against Rahul Gandhi, that will be against the Congress party. And I pray for his safety. I feel that there should not be any anarchy in this country. Any mandate should be taken by a democratic process. The government change should happen by a democratic process. I was totally against. Now that I've grown up, like I was a very young boy when Anna Hazare movement happened, and there were chances of anarchy at that particular time. And now I understand that was not a right thing to do in a democratic country. So even though there was Congress government, the anger that brewed at that particular time of the youth was against Congress government, was against Gandhi family, and I see that happening again. क्योंकि आज भी अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो वो गुस्सा डायनेस्टिक पॉलिटिक्स पे फूटेगा. आप देखिए, if you see Nepal as well, the whole anger of the youth was directed against corruption and against dynastic politics and against these families of politicians
Nepo
enjoying
kids.
in foreign countries. Yeah, Nepo kids that they called, and Congress is full of these Nepo kids. There was recently a tweet put out by their spokesperson, and it turned out, if you open the comments of that particular tweet on nepotism, it was full of young people targeting Congress on that. And she herself is a Nepo kid. She's daughter of a Congress MP, and then they are claiming कि भाई बाकी Nepo kids हैं. मतलब this is quite.
Garima ji, the question that comes to mind also is, in the context of this whole vote theft campaign by the Congress party, is it fair for you to allege that all elections in India, where even opposition has won, are bogus, they cannot be trusted? Because none of the allegations have been proven. Even after the recent press conference of Rahul Gandhi, it was he himself and Congress leaders themselves accepted that actually the deletion didn't happen. There were fail-safes that caught, even if there were any malicious attempts.
No, Shivani, there is enough proof. Why else would CID write 18 letters in 18 months? CID of Karnataka wrote 18 letters in 18 months to the Election Commission of India. Why there has been no response from them?
No, the CEO of Karnataka last evening itself has made it clear that all the details that Rahul Gandhi alleged have not been given to the CID were given 2 years ago itself, including IP addresses and others.
No, maybe it's a flip-flop in their own wording, but I find the political analyst sitting here, all the things that he said for Rahul Gandhi and Congress, do you ever ponder? I come from Devbhoomi, Uttarakhand, Shivani. Here, nepotism is... here, the Uttarakhand BJP is full of nepotism. Major General Bhuvan Chand Khanduri, both his kids are in politics. You talk about Vijay Bahuguna, our ex-chief minister, who's in BJP now. Both his kids are in politics. From Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the BJP is full of nepotism. What are you talking of dynastic politics? You shouldn't even be speaking about it. It's survival of the fittest. The person, this is a democracy. The people choose their leaders. They are not nominated. Rahul Gandhi has been chosen as a member of parliament. Priyanka Gandhi has been chosen by the public.
But so ma'am, the question is, why then refute the validity of their own elections? They were chosen by the very same process that Rahul Gandhi is seemingly undermining today.
See, when I saw Mr. Anurag Thakur's press conference, when he spoke about the Wayanad seat and the votes being manipulated there, this is the whole question. We don't make the voter list. It is the Election Commission of India who makes the voter list. If the Wayanad seat is also under controversy, then please go for it. I mean, you are doing an SIR everywhere, and now you are saying every state is going to have an SIR. Why don't you just, give the details which are being asked by Congress? You are being so ambiguous in
on the issue of why this investigation hasn't moved forward. Rohan wanted to come in. Yes.
See, Shivani, I think this is the problem with Congress party. They just throw the stone and run away. When Election Commission answered regarding Mahadevpura, again they came to Alan. Yesterday evening only, Alan, the Chief Election Commission of Karnataka, clearly answered that we have given all the replies 2 years back. Now again they are running away. So unless and until you absolutely prove particular, please, I never spoke in between. I never spoke in between. Let's not do debate like this, please. Shivani, please stop.
Ma'am, he is addressing that issue only. Let him speak. Yes.
This is not the point. All the answers were given 2 years back. it is up to CID to investigate, and they have still not investigated, and they are raising question on election commission. That is completely wrong. Yesterday, Rahul Gandhi told that 6018 vote has been delegated, and evening he has to tweet saying that no, their attempt was made to delete. So you cannot have this kind of narrative where you yourself are clear what you are doing. You are talking about hydrogen bomb, nitrogen. Where is the concrete evidence? Unless and until you have concrete evidence, people will not trust you. And that's why in Bihar, Tejasvi Yadav has clearly told that I am not going to go with Congress because he has sensed the narrative on the ground. People
Okay.
are not liking
What
it.
is the narrative
In
on the
Bihar,
ground?
you are
Let me,
opposing
one second.
FIR.
Let me also go across to Tausif Ahmed Khan, who's a lawyer and political analyst joining us. Tausif, while, some in the opposition may feel that, Gen Z will look at the issues today. They haven't seen, for example, Congress rule from 2004 and 14. So they may not be averse, as some feel, in having the Congress back. Others feel that anybody who's lived under that rule would be very easily able to make the difference between that era and the 10 years plus of Narendra Modi. But the truth also is, if you want to tell the youth of this country that you have it really bad, there is a problem there. Because the youth of the country today is extremely aware. It knows on its fingertips what are the conditions prevailing in other countries. They can assess for themselves whether they have it right, good, great or not versus what's happening just in India's neighborhood and globally. Can you really convince the youth of this country today, the Gen Z, that India is in the dumps and nothing can be trusted, Indian elections can't be trusted? Do you really think that narrative will be bought on ground?
Well, we live in a age of information technology where all sorts of information is available to the present generation. And when I say present generation, I mean from the generation which is, crossed 20 years from last 5 to 10 years ago. So they have more information rather to actually be convinced that India could have done better, but for the political establishments or the influence of the political establishments on the institutions running our country. If our institutions are given free hand, if there are no political interference or influence, then as a country we would have progressed a lot. There's no denial that we are not progressing, but yes, we are progressing at a pace which is not perhaps expected out of a young and vibrant country like ours.
But
we are in a position where a good part of our population is young and enthusiastic and energetic. And with all this kind of population, with this kind of demography, we should have progressed at a much higher pace than what we are progressing. And the blame can only go to those who are at the helms of the office, those who are running the country from the last more than 10 years.
I mean, Rohan wants to respond to you.
In the last 11 years.
Rohan wants to respond to you. Can I ask you a question? You hail from Bengal, if I have it correct. You know Bengal politics very well. Can Bengal, that has been ruled by TMC for a similar period of time as Narendra Modi as PM in the center, can Bengal say we have set an example that BJP has not been able to set in their states or nationally? Can Bengal say we have given more than any other political party in this country? Is there a model that the opposition has presented on the basis of which you can say, no, we can do better, but Narendra Modi hasn't been able to do that? Is there a model?
Of course, 100%. In fact, the so many welfare scheme run by the Mamata Banerjee-led government has been appreciated not only by the
do you think Gen Z wants welfare schemes?
Also. The so many welfare schemes run by the government has received appreciation and rewards from various international organizations.
Here's where you're missing the point, Tausif. The Gen Z doesn't want welfare schemes.
Give me 1 minute uninterrupted.
No, you first thing you were able to quote of the government were welfare schemes. Are welfare schemes what the Gen Z wants?
No, yes, welfare scheme is very important. Why? Welfare scheme is important because what is the role of the government? The role of the government is to look primarily at the weaker section. In 21st century, country like India is still suffering from poverty. If we can't help bring our population out of the poverty, then what is this government for? The tax are collected from the rich and wealthy, only to be redistributed in a way that it helps our poor, that it helps our economy, that it helps improve our infrastructure. That is the primary role of politics and government.
Yes.
Because so far our population is concerned, we are capable enough. If provided the institutions are there, we educate ourselves, we become competitive. People from India and professionals from India are running big corporation across the world. Name a country,
But
whether
which
Japan,
industry is coming to
whether
Bengal?
US, whether UK, we are there everywhere.
No, but
Not
which
because
industry is
government
coming to
helps us,
Bengal?
because
You
we
name
help
5
ourselves.
industries that have been set up in Bengal in the last 5 years. Name.
Now, so far the industry is concerned, unlike in old days where there was jute industry, where there was Hindustan Motor manufacturing plant, no, they are not going to come back because world has moved on. Yes, today the IT industry prosper in Bangalore and in Hyderabad, and Calcutta is still lagging behind. But if you see who are these people who is running the industry, so many students from Calcutta or the residents of Calcutta,
But they have to
or
go out of Bengal, no?
graduating from Bangalore, getting a job there.
But they have to go
going-
out of
yes,
Bengal,
they are out
right,
of the
to
Bengal,
work.
But still,
Rani,
they are
it's
part
a
of.
debate on West
They are
Bengal.
still part
No,
of
one
the
second.
system.
No, I'm just using this as an
So far the
example to
government
tell
is
you
concerned. I am at
that
the basics.
opposition
I am at the
narratives
basics,
that
what the
they can
government should
deliver
do.
better
What should the
can
government
only
do?
be bought if there was a model in any state. I think barring Tamil Nadu to some extent, no state can say they have produced a model in the last 10-15 years under any other opposition party that can compete on the metrics that are looked at for development and other welfare. So you can't just tell the public, in thin air that we can do better. You've got to deliver
may I
and create
now?
a model. How did
Shivani, may
Narendra
I-
Modi
may
come
I
to the
answer your
center?
question?
Narendra Modi came to the center on the back
look
of a
at the-
Gujarat model.
There are data.
Rohan has been wanting to come in. Yes, Rohan.
Yes, there
Ma'am,
are
I'm coming to
data
you.
to show-
Garimaji, I'm
there are
coming to you.
data to
Rohan,
show that
Rohan.
I think you
farmers
have
in
hit the
Bengal
nail.
have
That is the
progressed.
point I wanted to mention. That Gen Z or anybody, any Indian, he wants the alternative model. Okay, you are saying this model is bad. What alternative narrative you are presenting to the people of the country? You absolutely have no model. You have 2-3 states like Karnataka, like Himachal, like Telangana. Every next day you find the corruption issues are coming up. So Gen Zs are not fool. They understand where to go and what are the good opportunities.
Okay.
In India today, there are so much opportunities. So they are happy. Unless and until opposition party changes their narrative and presents something which is more lucrative or more showing more optimism to people, people are not fooled. They understand what Modi ji has done for the country. Now India is 4th largest economy in the world. You see the economy, you see the industries coming, you see the way India is becoming Atmanirbhar. Everybody is watching this. So absolutely you cannot talk only on the basis of theoretical thing. Gen Z is a big word where Rahul Gandhi and the opposition parties now feel, oh, this has happened in Nepal. But Gen Zs in India, they are very happy. They are leading by example and they know what Mr. Modi and BJP is doing for them.
Okay.
And that's why
Although
unless and until
the particular appeal that Rahul Gandhi has made in this case is on the issue of vote chori. We'll have to wait and see how much that is resonating
Shivani,
on
I want to
ground
make a
with the...
point.
Ma'am, very
Shivani, I want
quickly.
to make a point.
Ma'am, very quickly I have to move on. Yes.
When he says Gen Z, because it is the youth of this country who's hit hard by Narendra Modi's policies, the unemployment rate, the inflation, it is
lowest.
that strata. It is
Inflation
that
is lowest.
strata. And Rohan Gupta, I think you have forgotten how many have left the country. They're becoming crorepati's
It is
because
lowest.
of your
Inflation is
because
1.58%.
of your leader. They are becoming crorepati's and leaving the country. Do you have that data with you? How many people have left the
So they are
country?
becoming
Brain drain.
crorepati's because of
Do
the
you
policies of
know a
BJP.
term like brain drain which is happening in
You
India
know
right
what is
now?
the inflation
How
right
many
now?
people have
1.58%.
left the country
You know
because
what
they
is the
feel
rate
it
of
is unsafe?
unemployment?
Because they feel it is
2.2%.
unsafe.
Okay,
Let us talk
okay.
numbers.
Can I just
I'm
stop
ready
both
to
of you
challenge
here?
the numbers.
Once again, the point is whether vote chori campaign of the Congress is going to be bought by quote unquote Gen Z on ground who are going to be looking at who they vote for. They're going to be thinking about their vote very seriously in this year, coming years, because they're starting to do this. We'll have to wait and see.